Hellboy 2019. Starring David Harbour, Ian McShane. I dig Ian McShane. Sasha Lane and Mila Jovovich. I wanted to like this movie. When I saw the previews, I was like, oh, it's a remake or a reboot, a redone, recooked. They should not have done this. Try as hard as they want, I don't think they're going to find a better version of Ron Perlman. He does a lot of great monster type dudes, and I think they should have left well enough alone. One of my biggest problems with this was out of nowhere, right? It's a movie that insists upon itself.
What didn't you like about it?
It insists upon itself, Lois.
What?
It insists upon itself.
What does that even mean?
Because it has a valid point to make.
You know, it insists upon itself. And I'm watching a movie, right? And it doesn't know if it wants to be a horror movie and be taken seriously, or if it wants to be an action movie and taken seriously, or a horror comedy, or an action. It bounced around all over the place, and it just changed. And for 1 minute, it's like, oh man, that's kind of scary. And then the next minute, oh, no, this is a comedy. It's definitely a comedy. Not all of the jokes hit, you know? I mean, they were written like the writers were like, oh, this will kill, but it did not. You know what? If there had not been an original version of Hellboy, I might have seen this and liked it more. But knowing that there's a better product out there, I wonder why this exists, 'cause it's not as good. It's not. In this story, Hellboy is already a part of the world. He's out and about, and people know him, they know of him and everything. He's not as much of a secret because he's just walking around. And Father is called Dad for some reason, you know, except for one time when you see his name written, they write it Father, but he calls him Dad through the whole movie. And I was like, maybe that guy didn't get the script. Then they introduce a guy that doesn't like monsters, but he himself is in fact a monster. So self-hate, maybe? I don't know. But it just, the movie bounced around. I mean, it was telling this story, then it was telling that story, and then it has this super duper incredible, super crazy powered villain that wasn't really that powerful. She basically had one power, really. And it wasn't that tough. I mean, they killed her fairly easily. Her minion was tougher. You know, they fought the minion for like minutes or so at one point. They fought him through the whole movie, but when they finally meet the big bad and they're gonna duke it out, they kind of just gave her the axe and it was over with. Something that I noticed was they were calling the sword from the stone Excalibur, but if you read the story, you know, that's not Excalibur, man. Arthur draws the sword from the stone, and it's called the Sword of the Stone. Later, when he becomes the Pendragon, the Lady of the Lake gives him Excalibur. The lady at the lake, that chick's got Excalibur because she grants it to a guy, but you can't become Pendragon without pulling out the sword. So that's a test, you know. That's the lock at the front door. The money's in the back in the safe. The lady in the lake's got the money, man. You pull that sword out, all you did was get in the front door. So it's two different blades, but they kept saying, you know, pull the sword from the stone and you've got Excalibur. And I'm like, what's Excalibur doing in the stone? And it kept disappearing. They were like, you know, it was way over here. And then instantly it was over here. That was another thing. Instantly they'd be like, you know, she's trying to get away. And then all of a sudden they'd be on a helicopter flying. And they'd be like, she's down in the caverns. And then they'd show them, they never showed them going from one transport. It was big chunks of the movie seemed to be cut out and thrown on the editing floor, man. And it just didn't make no sense. They were like, you know, she's going to Wakanda. And all of a sudden they were in a helicopter going to Wakanda. He was like, no, she's not in Wakanda. She's in Asgard. And then on a rocket ship. I'm like, where'd the rocket ship come from? Where'd the helicopter? These vehicles just kept popping up out of nowhere, and they were on them, just flying and driving. And I was like, wow, that's kind of crazy. He takes a beating, right? I mean, a real beating from some regular Joes. He takes a beating. He gets the business. And then, after these regular Joes hand him this beating, they give him that work. After that, he just gets up and he defeats somebody that they couldn't beat. You know? It's like this dude beats you up, right? And then a giant monster beats the dude up and you get up and beat up the monster. It didn't make any sense. I was like, if you can't beat the regular Joes, how'd you beat the people that killed the regular Joe? It didn't make no sense to me. I don't know, this movie, it was like somebody said, hey, we got the rights to Hellboy. We better jump on this now and make a movie. What about a script? Nah. What about a good story? Nah, it's Hellboy. It'll write itself. What about actually they had great actors. They had great actors in there. I just don't think they were given the right stuff. I did not dig this movie at all. But with that said, I'm going to give this movie 4 bags of popcorn. Yup. But that's what I think. What do you think? If you like the video, if you like the content, subscribe. And then like.
Popcorn passport.